What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We're going to be talking about a lot of things here on our live show. We do go live every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I already see we have about 62 people watching in here with us, and I did put the live poll to ask you guys to grade the hiring of Terrell Williams. He was announced as the new defensive coordinator earlier today. So we are going to talk a little bit about Josh McDaniels and Terrell Williams, what they could possibly bring to New England as the new OC and DC. On the back half, we're going to talk a little bit about Mel Kiper's recent first-round draft pick and first-round mock draft, who the Patriots should take with their first pick. And then, of course, we will always have a mailbag. That way we can talk to you guys. You guys get to ask your questions. We get to break it down live here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. I'm super excited to be here. I know you guys are as well. So let me go on ahead and ask you guys this first question here for me. Red pen time, all right? Grade the hiring of Josh McDaniels. Obviously, McDaniels was named the OC yesterday, and that kind of came as no surprise. He's already been the offensive coordinator for New England for the last couple of years before he decided to head in a different direction and become a head coach. That sucked. He was not a good head coach, but I do believe he is a very good offensive coordinator. And something to note here with Josh McDaniels is that while he has been the OC in his time in New England, which is more than 2 decades, he was also the quarterback's coach. So I think he's going to be a really, really good pairing for Drake Maye moving forward, and hopefully can just be his last OC. That way you don't have to throw too many things at him while he's trying to adjust to the NFL. But I do think Josh McDaniels was a good hire. So I'm going to go on ahead and give this the grade of an A-. Allie, why not an A+? Well, my only reserve with Josh McDaniels is I'm just nervous that I'm going to watch the Patriots next year and feel like I've seen this before. Feel like the play calls, something just feels like he's trying to recreate the same generation that he had, which it's different. There is no more Tom Brady. There is no more Bill Belichick. So I do hope that he brings fresh, new, innovative play calls to New England. That way I'm not just watching a product I've seen before. So let me see what you guys are saying here in the comment section down below. Junior is going to say A. George Widmer is actually going to say C. Old Man Mob saying A. Cloud NFL, A-. Justin with an A. Ness Force, JR the Pats fan. A lot of A's in the comment section. Even our moderator, Double S, going to give us a nice A here. Nico coming in with an A+. Cloud NFL saying, hey, I said A- too. Justin saying, hello from a sunny, crisp, cool Boston. I hope you guys are getting a little bit more warmth back up there in the Northeast. Now that we've had this cold front come through, it has been extremely freezing down here in Texas, so I'm excited to get some warm weather coming back in here as well. Questions about the coordinator hirings. Is this the best offer, or were there better choices out there? We're definitely going to dive into that towards our first segment on today's show, because that could definitely be up for consideration. But you got to think, Tommy Rees, he was upgraded to OC of the Browns, so a lot of teams just went with internal hirings. So now you have to think, with New England, we got rid of our staff. We have to start building up from external processes. So I think that overall, Josh McDaniels may have been the best option for the offensive coordinator position just for what New England is dealing with right now. It's a very unique situation for New England. Cloud NFL, I'm a huge fan of the Williams signing. He coached Lions defensive line, which was really good, especially Aiden Hutchinson, who had a breakout year. He was also the running back coach for Detroit with Monty in Gibbs. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more here about Terrell Williams. So let me go on ahead and ask you guys this question here. Grade the hiring of Terrell Williams. A, B, C, D, or F. We've got our OC. The DC was announced earlier this morning, bright and early on the East Coast at 8 a.m. I gave a little while for my thoughts to sink in, and then I posted a video, which is still up on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to go do that. But now I'm starting to see a little bit less of A's. I'm starting to see some B's, C's in here from Justin Hittman, Richard Gonzalez. There are still some A's in there as well, but definitely a little bit less. And I'm also noticing there aren't as many grades in here for Williams as there is McDaniels. Why? Because you guys don't know Williams. Nobody in New England knows Williams. The only person that does is Mike Vrabel. They worked together for 6 years when he was a defensive line coach in Tennessee. Everybody knows McDaniels. How could you not? If you've been a Patriots fan the last 2 decades, which I'm sure you have, or at least known about the Patriots' success in the last 2 decades, you know Josh McDaniels was at the forefront as the OC. So I don't think that people are going to sit here and call Terrell Williams a bad hire. I think most of them are going to look at him and just be like, I don't really know anything about the guy. Kind of an AVP in DeMarcus Covington situation, but I have a lot more faith in Williams than I did Covington. Connolly family. I love that we got Josh, but I also love that we got Williams because he's a new person. I agree. You know, you hired Vrabel. He's an alumni. You hired Josh McDaniels. He's been with the Patriots personnel off and on since 2001. Williams is a fresh face that you guys can bring in here to New England. So we're going to break down a little bit more here on Terrell Williams coming up later in this show. But I want to go ahead and tell you guys real quick about our sponsor on today's live show. That is GameTime. This is the #1 way I get tickets to any sporting event, comedy show, concert, or maybe even the theater. And while there is no football going on right now in New England, there is great basketball being played right in your backyard at TD Garden. Boston Celtics, Boston Bruins, those tickets easily obtainable. The Red Sox also starting up their season in a couple of months, and then it will be football season before you know it. If you guys want to go check out the Boston Celtics playing live right now, all you guys have to do is just download the GameTime app. When you get that app, you're going to get lowest price guarantee. You're also going to get all-in pricing, which means the total you see at checkout is the total that you will pay. There is no extra $75 once you hit the cart button. None of that. And the #1 reason why I love using GameTime is the fact that you guys can see the view in your seat in the comment section before you buy. That way you guys know exactly where you're sitting, what your view is going to look like, and you can get the best bang for your buck. If you guys want to go ahead and get started, producer Tex already put that link in the chat down below. Go ahead and click that link or download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase while terms apply. Again, download the GameTime app. Create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download GameTime today because what time is it? It is game time. Now that we've got the OC, we've got the DC, and the head coach, which top free agent should the Patriots sign this offseason? I did recently make a video about possibly trading for a guy like Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, or maybe a Jeffrey Simmons, who I'll talk about a little bit later in this show. But I know that now that we've got our forefront of personnel, this is when free agency can start to get a little bit juicy. Once the playoffs are over, we only have 2 more games. Of course, we got the NFC and AFC championship this weekend, and then the Super Bowl. And then after that, free agency is going to be high, mighty, and fast. So who do you guys want to possibly sign in free agency this offseason? I'm honestly very intrigued with Trey Smith. I think that playing right now for the Kansas City Chiefs, whether or not they win this weekend, may end his season early. But I do think a guy like Trey Smith is going to be a very hot commodity in the NFL. But what I like about Trey Smith is that he's won Super Bowls. So he may not want to go to a contender. He may not need to go to a contender because he's already been there, done that, played with arguably the greatest quarterback currently, Patrick Mahomes. So maybe he's just looking for a fat bag before he hits retirement. And thankfully, the Patriots have $130 million in cap space, so they could pay him as much money as he possibly wanted and could, help the Patriots in the last couple of years in his NFL career. Connolly wants Simmons. He would be a trade target. Justin saying Khalil Mack. Boston Bob is in here saying Allie. What's up, Boston Bob? Happy to have you in here. Sean is going to say TH. Junior is going to say Mack. A lot of people actually want Khalil Mack in here. Najee Harris for the running back position there. Tony M, nobody concerned they're losing Gibbs, yet didn't tap Williams as a successor. I thought about that. He was in the running. He was definitely an interested perspective to be the next DC, but maybe he just wanted to move on, Maybe he wanted to move on. And they lost Glenn. Gibbs is the running back. Cloud, yeah, Gibbs is the running back. Glenn was the defensive coordinator. Yeah. Brandon saying T Higgins, I think is what you are referring to. Tyreek, Mack, and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown and Tyreek will be trade targets, and then Khalil Mack would be a free agent. That is true. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here to the nitty-gritty of the NFL draft. Who should the Patriots draft in the first round? We do currently have pick number 4. I have seen Travis Hunter, Tetairoa McMillan, Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks Jr., Abdul Carter. I think there are a lot of great directions the Patriots could decide to go with, whether it's defense, offense, line, secondary, personnel, skills players. I think the Patriots kind of have the pick of the litter here, or they could also always trade away that number 4 pick. Tony M saying Abdul Carter only. T-Dub saying Abdul Carter. Cloud9, trade down with the Saints and get Olave, and they get Abdul Carter. Go get Chris Godwin. Trade for Kyle Pitts. Ugh. Or trade for Nick Chubb. What? I love Nick Chubb, but that man cannot stay healthy to save his life, and I feel horrible for him. I want him to succeed in the NFL, but Nick Chubb is a walking injury report. You can't, man. And Kyle Pitts, what are we talking about? Is this 2008? Abdul Carter, number 1. Tetairoa McMillan, number 2. Travis Hunter, number 3. Sounds like my type of mock draft, which we will touch on the back half of this show. Brandon saying that's a horrible trade. Carter, that dude from Penn State, that would also be Abdul Carter. If not Carter, then trade down to get T-Mac. Hope we can get one of them studs from OSU. Double S, Abdul Carter, and then get a wide receiver in free agency. Yeah, no running back is worth the first round anymore. Sign Higgins, Stanley, Sweat, maybe trade back. But to me, it all comes down to who you get in free agency. I completely agree. What I don't agree with is having 150 people in this chat right now and not even 50 likes. I just can't agree with that, to be honest. I'm going to need you guys to go on ahead, like this video for me if you haven't already. It truly does help get more and more people into this chat. That way we can have more Patriots opinions or maybe even outside opinions here on the channel. Boston Bob doing the dirty work for me. Like the damn show. Bob saying like T-Dub, saying get those likes up for Vrabel. B-Bob still saying like. George Widmer, smash that like button. That is more like it. We'll talk a little bit more about the mock draft in a second, but I want to go on ahead and get you guys to like this video for me. If you enjoy free Patriots YouTube videos, shout out to producer Tex, whip this up in a heartbeat because he also realized we are extremely low on likes as we have 165 people in here. We have a lot to talk about. We just hired a damn DC. We just hired a damn OC. It is a new era in New England. I am extremely, extremely excited about it. And we have the highest cap space in the NFL with $130 million. And we have a top 5 draft pick. What are we talking about? This should get you excited for the NFL season coming up because gone are the days, hopefully, of watching the shit show that went down in New England last year. All right, we're up to 65 likes here, 170 people in here. See how we gained 30 viewers just by you guys liking the video? That is science. Or like data science or something. I don't know. It makes sense. All right. So now is your turn to get your comments, thoughts, and questions out there. If you guys want to go on ahead, send in your questions for our mailbag, which we always do at the end of the show. Just be sure you use hashtag Patriots in your comment. That way, producer Tex knows how to grab your comment and put it on our show. Help make Texas life easier by putting hashtag Patriots in your comment section. And if you want to make sure your question automatically guarantees gets answered, go on ahead, send in a super chat of any amount. Just use hashtag Patriots for your question in that super chat. Justin coming in here with a good question right now. Talking a little bit about the NFL draft, which obviously is going to be full force for us now that we do have personnel. I want to start talking a little bit more and start doing weekly mock drafts here on this channel. Red Liker also putting in a good question in here. I think that's great. Big Daddy Joe saying get McMillan at number 4. You know I'm a Tetairoa McMillan girl. You know I am a 6'5" wide receiver stan. And I am very nervous that if we don't get Tetairoa, right, and he goes like the Raiders or he goes somebody, it's going to be a Ladd McConkey, Jalen Polk-esque type of draft. What's up, Big Texer? Absolutely. Justin, re-ask your question, my guy. Just take out that ... because we have to have like Patriots, then the question, so our system can read it. If you don't mind, my guy. Christopher Flores, good question in here. All right, let's get a couple more questions before we do end up transitioning over to our first segment here. Couple more questions in here. Let's see who else is in here. Dean saying, yo, guys, what's up, my man? Matt saying Abdul Carter at number 4. A lot of Abdul Carters in here. I get it. Justin, you're going to have to ask that question one more time. Just put hashtag Patriots back in the question, my guy. Xenon, any chance JMD can bring out the talent from Polk? JMD. Oh, Josh McDaniels. I was like, what? Oh, okay. That's a good, it's a good abbreviation. Took me a minute, though. All right, we've got a couple of good questions in there. So how about this? We're going to go on ahead. Justin, that's perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so we're going to go on ahead and break down what we're going to be talking about here on today's show. Then we're going to hop into the first segment. But keep in mind, while we are doing our segments, please feel free to super chat, comment, like, subscribe, the whole nines. We're just going to be focusing on our show, so we may not get to your questions until after we are done. But please keep sending in questions. Use hashtag Patriots. That way you can get on our mailbag. But on the second half of the show, we're going to talk about Mel Kiper's mock draft for the first round, who he possibly thinks the Patriots could draft. But we're going to start off with the hottest topic right now in New England. I'm going to break down whether or not Josh McDaniels and Terrell Williams were the right hires for the OC and the DC. So please feel free to go on ahead and keep liking the show. We're not even to 100 likes yet, so let's make sure that is a goal. Please keep sending in hashtag Patriots in the comment section. That way, your questions can get answered on the mailbag. And as always, hit that sub button for me. And we're going to hop into our first segment here in just a few moments. As Connolly is saying, Allie, would McMillan and DK, if we did get both of them, would they be the tallest receivers in the league on one team? I don't know all the heights of all the receivers right now, but I know that Tetairoa McMillan is a tall target. 6'5", my man. 6'5". All right. Let's go on ahead, jump into our first segment. We are 20 likes away from 100. So hopefully when we're done with this first segment, which of course is discussing whether or not McDaniels and Williams were the right hires, I hopefully will see 100 likes down below. We got a super chat real quick. Hold on. Cloud NFL just sending in $2 just to say, hey, Allie, you deserve that. Well, thank you, Cloud NFL. I appreciate that, my man. Boston Bob coming in with a great comment as well. Hashtag Patriots. Allie is Kelvin Banks, our guy with the 4th pick. Love that. We'll talk about that. RB3 Patriots. Do T-Mac's speed scare you? It was reported he need help to beat press coverage. We can also definitely talk about that as well. Keep in mind the draft combine hasn't even happened yet, so we still have a lot to discuss here with those draft picks. But coming in from Cloud NFL, $2 super chat. Hey, Allie, you deserve this. Thank you so much. Keep in mind, if you guys do send in super chats using hashtag Patriots and the question in it, we will answer that automatically on our mailbag towards the end of this show. All right. Like I said, please feel free to keep super chatting, commenting, subscribing, and liking. We're going to go on ahead and jump into our first segment, which is talking about whether or not McDaniels and Williams were the right OC and DC for the Patriots. All right, Tex, go on ahead at the 1s and 2s, and we are ready to go. The head coach, OC, and DC are set in New England after they did fire Gerard Mayo, Alex Van Pelt, and DeMarcus Covington. The new big three are Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels as the offensive coordinator, and most recently, Terrell Williams as the defensive coordinator. I've got this question a lot, Allie. Were these the right hires for the Patriots moving forward, knowing that we were in the bottom of the barrel on offense and on defense when it came to overall statistics, can Josh McDaniels and Terrell Williams get us back to having a top 10 offense and defense? Let's go ahead and break that down. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and I'm just going to start this off by asking you guys to get your red pens out. How did the front office do? Grade the OC/DC hiring, A, B, C, D, or F. We all went to grade school. We know how A's work, and we know how F's work. So go on ahead, drop it in the comment section down below. And I really want to start on the offensive side of the ball because, in my opinion, that is the side that needs the utmost work. But I want to go back a couple of years, back when we were just so happy with the Patriots offense and how they looked. Although we were still very upset that Tom Brady was not our quarterback anymore. I want to go back to 2021. Under Josh McDaniels, this is what the offense looked like under this very equipped offensive coordinator through and through for New England. They were third in plays for 0 or negative yards. They were fourth in 3-and-out percentage. They were fourth in rush EPA. They were sixth for scoring, which is a lot better than 31st, which is where the Patriots rank right now. They were 8th in 20-plus plays. They were 10th in 10-plus yard plays. They were 10th in third down percentage. They were 11th in offensive touchdowns, and they were 11th in red zone touchdown percentage, which means we were scoring the frickin' football. And it wasn't just the offense as a whole. It was players that we still currently have on this team benefiting from the play calling of Josh McDaniels. Kendrick Bourne, pre-injury, he had 70 targets, 55 receptions, 800 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. He also averaged over 10 yards per catch, nearly 15 yards per catch. He also got involved a little bit in the run game, 12 rushing attempts with 125 rushing yards, which means they were taking this wide receiver, implementing him in the run game, which means innovative play calling to mix it up going against defenses. Josh McDaniels had this offense on a one-way train that was on the road to success. He just didn't have the resources to get it done, a.k.a. a Mac Jones-esque type of quarterback. But when you look at what the Patriots now have the opportunity to do, to give Josh McDaniels the right tools to be a successful offensive unit in the NFL, that's what gets me the most excited. Because I don't want to repeat 2021. I don't want to repeat any of the years I've ever seen the Patriots play. I want to keep moving forward. That's the only way you can move. And if you have seen what Josh McDaniels can do, make Mac Jones a Pro Bowler, he sucks. Imagine what he could do with Drake Maye, that he has several open positions at wide receiver. Could maybe bring in another running back. Could maybe tweak his offensive line a little bit. You have $130 million in cap space, and you have a top 5 NFL draft pick. If McDaniels has the skill set to be a good OC, imagine what you could do with giving him the weapons that can make this a dangerous offense moving forward. I think his work with May is going to be incredible. I think he is going to be able to shape Drake Maye into a top 5 NFL quarterback in the next couple of years. And I know what I said. And going back to even before this season happened, Josh McDaniels spoke a little bit to Julian Edelman about what he saw in the raw talent of Maye in the preseason. He hadn't even seen this kid play in the NFL yet. I don't think he's as big as Josh Allen is. But guys like that have those kind of attributes, keep in mind, he's 6'4", 225. You can use them to run the football too. How many times did I beg Alex Van Pelt to create quarterback design runs for Drake Maye, and he neglected to? I'm interested to see what he plays, when he plays, if he becomes a little bit more of a dual threat guy, or if he's just a pocket passer and just a big, tall, strong guy in the pocket. Drake Maye was our second leading rusher on this Patriots football team. And now that you've got a guy that has a skill set that knows how to bring out the best in a quarterback, because I saw a lot of you guys saying, well, maybe we should keep Alex Van Pelt on the roster as a quarterback's coach. Keep in mind, Alex Van Pelt has recently parted ways with New England completely. He will not be on the staff this year. That was the most recent report. But have no fear. McDaniels, in all of his years, but one, as the OC in New England, he also served as the quarterback's coach. He has 11 years as an OC/quarterback's coach. He is fully equipped to take on Drake Maye and make him a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And then you do have to realize that Ian Rappaport is coming out here and letting us know that Alex Van Pelt will no longer be with New England. And I am okay with that. The only, step back I have is that Drake Maye really liked Alex Van Pelt. He defended him. He stood up for him. He constantly reassured media that Alex Van Pelt is a good offensive coordinator. And I do hope that maybe they will cross paths moving forward. But you have to give Alex Van Pelt for some credit for allowing Drake Maye to have a fantastic rookie year despite the winning record. But I think Josh McDaniels is a level up as an OC from AVP. So overall, was Josh McDaniels the right hire for New England? Yes. Yes, he was. There were some other reports out there that maybe Vrabel wanted to bring in Tommy Rees, but he decided to get upgraded to OC for the Cleveland Browns, so maybe that's why he led to Josh McDaniels. That's he said, she said. I think ultimately McDaniels knows the system. He has proven success with a great quarterback in Tom Brady. Let's see what he can do with Drake Maye. Now we go back to you guys. Was Josh McDaniels the right hire for OC? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'll let you guys know about the #1 way to get tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show, or maybe even the theater, GameTime. GameTime, always make sure you have the lowest price guaranteed when you guys are getting tickets for yourself, maybe for your boyfriend or girlfriend, maybe your parents are coming into town, or heck, maybe you just want to take a big group of people to go to a concert or sporting event. No matter the occasion, GameTime makes sure they're helping you save money. And with GameTime Picks, it makes it super easy to filter out all the fluff. That way you guys are shown the best deals at the best prices, so you don't have to spend time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. The other month, my boyfriend's brother and sister-in-law came into town, and we decided, heck, you know what, Saturday night, let's go check out an NHL game. We went to the Dallas Stars. I had never been before, so I went to go find tickets. I got to see my view from my seat, nice little panoramic 180 view. It was perfect, and just because I got 10% off because GameTime said this seat is a great deal. So if you guys want to go on ahead and check out GameTime, all you guys have to do is download the GameTime app. Use promo code ChatSports to give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the GameTime app. Use promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Go on ahead, download the GameTime app today because what time is it? It is game time. Was Terrell Williams the right hire as a defensive coordinator? A lot of you guys don't know Williams, and I'm going to be fully honest with you. I don't know him either, but doing my research and trusting Mike Vrabel as the head coach, I think this could be a very good hire down the road for New England. And when you look at a guy like Williams, I'll give you guys a little bit of background on him. He has been with numerous different defensive structures in his time in the NFL. He's a good old-fashioned, worked his way up the ladder type of DC. And this is his first time as a defensive coordinator, but don't rule him out just yet. He has been established in good defenses for the last 10 years. From 2018 to 2022, he was a Tennessee Titans defensive line coach. Interesting. That seems to correlate perfectly with Mike Vrabel's tenure in Tennessee. You got it. Nail on the head. He was the defensive line coach for Vrabel when they did coach together in Tennessee. What you're really looking for here with a guy like Williams is his success in run defense. This is going to be a huge boost for a very bad defensive unit that really struggled to stop the run or even put any kind of pressure on the gaps, on the quarterbacks, and on the backfield. In his first year as the Titans defensive line coach, he was able to help craft a defense that ranked 8th in yards per game allowed, 3rd in points allowed, and 2nd in red zone defense. If he can do that in 1 year, I think he could definitely shake some things up for the better in New England. But don't take my word for it. Mike Vrabel, who's worked right hand with him, the respect I have for him, the way that he goes about his business, the way that he treats people, The way that he treats coaches and players, he has a great grasp of it. He got along and had relationships with offensive coaches. That's key here. Special teams coaches and defensive coaches. And Vrabel even admitted, even though he wasn't the DC in Tennessee, just a defensive lines coach, he relied on Big T a lot to help on guys that I couldn't reach out or I was having trouble with. He'd have a better relationship with them than I did. He cared about the team. He wasn't a type of guy that just cared about the defensive line. That is what I'm hoping he brings to New England. I never heard DeMarcus Covington backing up Alex Van Pelt or talking about the offense at all. When I watched the Patriots, it was clear it was defense and offense, not the Patriots. And the Patriots' way is about being a team. And I'm glad that if Mike Vrabel as a head coach, let's be honest, not all of us enjoy going to our bosses about certain things. We like going to other people to help out with our issues. So if some people don't want to go to Vrabel, a.k.a. maybe a Jelani Tavai that had some comments about Patriots fans, maybe he'd go to a defensive coach like Terrell Williams. And it's not just current players, former players that have played under Terrell Williams have said that he's a great guy. And keep in mind, Jeffrey Simmons is a trade target that I thought may follow Mike Vrabel to New England. Now he's commenting on the recent hire of Terrell Williams as well. Wow. So happy for Big T, man. You deserve it, Coach. Congrats to you and your family. Williams knows players. He has connections. DeMarcus Covington did not. Alex Van Pelt did not. Was Terrell Williams the right hire for defensive coordinator? Yes. Yes. He is brand new to New England, which is going to be very good now that you have a familiar face in Josh McDaniels. I think we're going to see a lot of success in Williams. And if I'm wrong, I'll cut this clip and we can talk about it in Week 18. But as of right now, I think he's a good hire. My final question for you guys, was Terrell Williams the right hire for DC? Type R for right, type W for wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below how you guys feel about Mr. Williams. Big T, now in the Big N-E. As always, go on ahead, hit that sub button for me if you guys haven't already, and go Patriots. All right, so there is my take on Williams and McDaniels. Anybody else sweating? My goodness. All right, so let's go on ahead and get back here to you guys. So now that we've got this poll in here of Terrell Williams, almost 300 likes, mainly looking at about an A+. So we're going to go on ahead, change this poll real quick. Was Josh McDaniels the right hire at OC? We'll do the exact same question, but this time we're going to talk a little bit about McDaniels with all that stuff I just gave you guys. All right, we're going to hop into our second segment in just a moment. Just want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to send in their questions using hashtag Patriots in the comment section down below for our mailbag, which is our third segment of today's live show. Music said Allie Barefoot as a Patriots GM. Yeah, I applied. I didn't hear back from him. Ness Force. Talking a little bit about the games going on later today. A lot of you guys are saying R for right, for the right hire for Terrell Williams. Oh, is somebody saying that I'm wrong in the comment section? Has she made mistakes? I got to catch up all the drama, my guy. What's going on in here? What's going on? Oh, wait. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so not fun. Yeah, we're just gonna put them in timeout because they're just being rude. We're just trying to have a good time here, my guy. Just trying to have a good time here. Always that one text, you know? Oh yeah, I had to scroll back up and look for that. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah, I want the Commanders and Bills in the Super Bowl. I just want fresh, new players. I think new teams. Daniels would be the first rookie to ever go to the Super Bowl. I think it'd be awesome. I don't want the Chiefs. Don't want the Chiefs at all. Never, ever, ever. I saw today, too, that Patrick Mahomes was listed as questionable. And he's like day-to-day right now, dealing with an ankle injury. And I'm like, here we go. Patrick Mahomes has some kind of injury that he's going to play through and be the superstar, and they're going to talk about how he did all of that and he was injured. I hate it. I'm done with it. All right, let's go on ahead and jump into our Mel Kiper's mock draft for round 1. This will be our first mock draft of the offseason. We're going to start doing these once a week now that we have all the pending open positions filled. I do think that we can now have more fun with the mock drafts moving forward. Keep in mind, hashtag Patriots in the comment section down below. That way you guys can get your questions in our mailbag. We're going to do the mailbag right after we do this segment. All right, Mr. Texer, are we ready to go? All right, let's get it. ESPN's Mel Kiper did release his mock draft for round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft. As you guys know, the New England Patriots have pick number 4, thanks to the win in Week 18 against the Buffalo Bills. No, I'm not so salty about it, but we're going to talk about who they could possibly take with pick number 4 and where Mel Kiper thinks they should go, offense or defense, with that first pick. So before we jump into that, I just want to make sure you guys are aware that we are in a month-long subscriber battle with the Jets Report. This is a new program here at Chat Sports with host Patrick Seatman. I told you guys about this a couple weeks ago. Want to let you know we are currently winning, but not enough. It's not making me feel great. We gained over 230 subscribers the last time I told you guys about this sub battle. Let's go ahead, make it 300 new subscribers. Hit that sub button down below. Just in case you guys weren't aware, here is the 2025 NFL Draft Order, and we are at number 4. Should be number 1. It should have been number 1. But nonetheless, we've got to move forward and do with what we can. Now, when you look at the top 3 teams that are above us, Titans, Browns, and Giants, they could all use a nice, fresh pair of legs at quarterback. Thankfully, the New England Patriots don't have that problem. So we can start to really focus on other areas of needs because, believe me, there are plenty for the Patriots on offense and on defense that they could take with the number 4 pick. And it's not just the first round. Obviously, there are 7 rounds, and here is where New England will be selecting for the entire 3-day period. Number 4 with pick number 1. Then you have round 2, number 38, round 3, number 69. Hey-oh. Number 3 also as well, 77 via the Falcons in that Matthew Judon trade. Thank you very much, Judon. Number 4, 107. Number 5, 143. Number 7, 217 via the Titans. 7, 220, and 7, 241. So no 6-round pick, but 3 7-round picks. So what do the Patriots really need to hone in on that first round? Obviously, the offensive line. You're looking at your Will Campbells, your Kelvin Banks Jr. Then you're looking at your wide receivers, Travis Hunter, Tetairoa McMillan. And then your defensive line, which there's really only one area of defense that can be filled by Abdul Carter, which is Mel Kiper's option to take at number 4. Mel Kiper has New England selecting Abdul Carter, the edge from Penn State. This is a play disruptor if I have ever seen one. And the Patriots defense struggled in numerous different areas on the field on defense, but they really struggled in bringing quarterback pressure every single game. They went the last 3-4 games without even putting a sack on the quarterback. So Abdul Carter primarily specializes in making quarterbacks' lives hell. And he is looking to improve the Patriots' 25 sack total. We had 25 sacks this year. That is such garbage. And 9 of those came in one game against the horrendous Chicago Bears. So what would Abdul Carter be able to bring to New England? Well, keep in mind, the team high for sacks this year was 5. All right, Carter doubled that. He gave us 12. 2 forced fumbles for Penn State, 68 tackles as a 2024 edge rusher. Unfortunately, his college career did get cut short without a national championship this last year, but I do think that Abdul Carter would absolutely shake things up and be a huge addition to our defense. But I do want to keep in mind here, when you're looking at a guy like Abdul Carter, yes, you may be able to swing and get a hit in free agency, but this draft isn't as stacked as I wanted it to be, And I want to make sure that if we do end up taking an Abdul Carter, and you want to focus on the edge position, which isn't, in my opinion, on the top of priority lists for New England. I think offensive line and a top target for Drake Maye should be number 1 and number 2, and then you should go to the defensive side of the football. It sounds like Mike Vrabel may want to take an offensive lineman with pick number 4, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. But I want to go on ahead and just ask you guys right off the bat here. Who should the Patriots draft with their first round pick? Abdul Carter, Tetairoa McMillan, Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks Jr., Travis Hunter. Let me know in the comment section down below. You guys better get hit with a YouTube ad break. Sit through it. I promise we'll be right back. Mike Vrabel, after his introductory press conference, really honed in on what he's looking for to help bolster this Patriots team immediately. We have to focus on the line, because I think the best teams right now in the National Football League are the ones that still have the best offensive lines, that are changing the line of scrimmage, protecting the passer, have versatility in a run game, can run a zone scheme, can run a gap scheme. With that being said, we want to focus on some of those areas. That is why, even though Mel Kiper has Abdul Carter ranked number 2 overall in his upcoming draft picks, but has the Patriots taking him at number 4, I also agree. I do think Abdul Carter should be the number 1 target for the Patriots at number 4. But I think Vrabel might lean a little bit more to the offensive line. I just think that might be too much of a gamble to try and get in free agency, and a trade for an offensive lineman may take a lot because they are a dime a dozen in the NFL. So we're going to talk a little bit more here in the back half of the show. Who could the Patriots take with pick number 4 if it's not going to be Abdul Carter, the absolute disruptor on defense? Before I break that down, let me go ahead and tell you guys about our sponsor on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. It's brought to you by PrizePicks, the number 1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I play PrizePicks every single game day, and I want you guys to play with me, and as well as 10 million active users. PrizePicks is honestly probably the easiest part of my day. All you guys have to do is just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Oh yeah, baby, up to 1,000 times your cash. All you guys have to do to get started is download the PrizePicks app. Once you get there, just create an account. Use promo code CLNS. This should give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. It'll give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You're probably thinking, Allie, if you say you play every day, where are your PrizePicks at? Bam! Here are my PrizePicks for the upcoming game. I'm taking a demon and a goblin. As you guys can see, Terry McLaurin is a demon pick. A little bit harder to hit, but if it does, the payout is more. Saquon Barkley, he's going to be my goblin pick. More than likely going to happen, but the payout isn't as much. But I'm going to top that off with James Cook going up against one of the top defenses in the NFL, 56.5 less rushing yards, and then Jaden McDaniels to have more than 1 passing yard. That is a nice free square there for Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, so you guys should go on ahead and hop on that right now. Go on ahead and download the PrizePicks app. Use promo code CLNS. This will give you guys $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today. You guys can go on ahead and get started. Why? Because PrizePicks run your game. Here is Mel Kiper's first-round big board for the first 8 picks. He's going to have the Tennessee Titans taking Cam Ward as a quarterback with pick number 1. Then they'll have Travis Hunter actually going to the Browns as the wide receiver. Guess that kind of makes sense. You do still have a crap ton of money you owe Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston. Then Shedeur Sanders falls to number 3 to the New York Giants. He does have Abdul Carter, the edge, coming to New England at pick number 4. Mason Graham, who is the defensive tackle out of Michigan at number 5. Tetairoa McMillan at pick number 6. Mikael Williams at number 7. And Jalen Walker at number 8. So let's talk about hypotheticals here. Now that Mel Kiper predicts that Travis Hunter will go with pick number 2 to the Browns, is there a possibility Travis Hunter could fall to pick number 4 and land with New England? Now I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys this question off the bat. Do you even want Travis Hunter? Is this a guy that we're hoping falls to number 4, or are you hoping that the Browns take him with number 2 and Mel Kiper's dreams come true and we can still land Abdul Carter with pick number 4. Go on ahead and type Y for yes, type N for no. If you guys typed Y for yes, let's talk a little bit about possibly drafting Travis Hunter. He was the clear-cut 2024 Heisman Trophy winner, even though I thought Ashton Genty would have been a very cool winner. He's arguably the best player in the 2025 NFL Draft. Why? Because he's very versatile. He can play both offense and defense, and he pretty much plays the entire 4 quarters every single snap. Not only does he play both ways, he is one of the best both ways. He's still a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL Draft. He's a top 5 cornerback in the NFL Draft, depending on which side he decides to go with when he plays professionally. So let's look at his stats as a top wide receiver. I mean, this is unreal. This guy literally just came off the field playing in the secondary and then comes out here on offense and puts up these types of numbers. 1,200 receiving yards. He averaged 13 yards a game, 15 tutties, and 96 receptions. He's an absolute dog. And you're probably thinking, oh, God, his cornerback stats probably aren't even good. Wrong. 36 tackles, 11 pass breakups. That is tied with some NFL players right now who just had career highs. 4 interceptions. The man is a headhunter. He does very, very well in man coverage. Also, when it comes to being a wide receiver, he knows exactly how to get away from his man and create that separation. He's a dual threat that I haven't seen this type of talent really in my generation. But we're not sure which side he's going to play. And yes, while I do think we do still need a very good replica of Christian Gonzalez in the secondary, I do like Alex Austin a lot. I think that if the defensive coordinator, Terrell Williams, can now get something going with Alex Austin, he could be that replica in the secondary. We're not even sure if Travis Hunter is going to be a wide receiver, and you're not playing him both ways in the NFL. And I do think we need a wide receiver ASAP. And I don't know if we're going to be able to swing one in free agency. So here's where I lie with Tetairoa McMillan. Right now, Mel Kiper has him going number 6. Could we possibly steal him from the Raiders and take him at number 4? The receiver room is bad. It's so light. Demario Douglas is really your only top target, and I prefer him more in the slot. He's tall. This guy is 6'5". He's a big frame pass catcher that become Maye's top receiving option, and he has great body control for contested catches. We know that Drake Maye tends to be a little bit inconsistent. At least that's what he was in his first year as a rookie. I think this could be a very good option for Drake Maye in the passing game. But do we want a wide receiver with pick number 4? Do we want an edge, a D tackle, an offensive lineman, an offensive tackle? Should the Patriots draft a wide receiver? Type wide receiver in the comment section down below if you guys agree. Pick number 4 should go to a clear-cut receiver in the NFL. And here's what Mel Kiper had to say about possibly updating their receiver room with pick number 4. New England also has glaring holes at receiver and on the offensive line. If Hunter is still on the board, he does fit. Arizona's Tetairoa McMillan makes some sense too. And there's a shot the Patriots will get an offer to trade back, which would put them in a better spot to take one of the top offensive tackles, which could be a Will Campbell, a Kelvin Banks Jr., but Carter, my number 2 prospect, could take the defense to another level. So Kiper's like, look, I'm all in on Abdul Carter. And if I am, I'm not Mel Kiper. I am just Allie Barefoot, Patriots Today by Chat Sports, but I think McMillan is a great pick. We just suck at drafting wide receivers. So I'm afraid that he's just going to fall in this long line of juju and just suck his first year. And I do get the comparison with N'Keal Harry. And I do really love Abdul Carter. Right now I'm like 50-50 on Carter and McMillan. So we're just going to have to see what the front office decides to do. But the good news is that now we have Mike Vrabel, who will have a say in all Patriots picks and targets and trades moving forward. The new OC and DC will also give some clarity as to what they're looking for in the NFL draft moving forward. So we have a lot more mock drafts to come, especially with the new OC and DC now being set. So if you guys want to go on ahead, hit that sub button for me down below if you haven't already, and join 21,000 loyal subscribers right here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. I gotta start learning how to breathe when I talk like that. My goodness. All right, Hanton Valdez, let's effing get Carter. Char's in here. Good evening, Allie and everyone. Mainly only see you in Celtic streams. Happy to have you in here, Char. Boston Bob wants the O-line. Oh, man, Mob, I want T-Mac or Abdul at 4. If not, then trade down. Like that a lot. Like that a lot. I don't know, man. I don't think this this offensive line draft is, like, unreal. I think that it's really kind of just Kelvin Banks Jr., who is dealing with injury right now, and then Will Campbell, who I do think Will Campbell would be a really good pick along there with David Andrews. I think that they give me similar leadership type of locker room vibes. I don't know, man. If you're going to give me Drake Maye for a second year, I'd rather have some veteran experience blocking for him. I would rather go for like a Cam Robinson type of guy and just make sure that we really do have that level of experience that can give Drake Maye more confidence to be a more experienced dual threat. I don't know if I want to give a second-year quarterback a rookie, left tackle or right guard anymore. I think I just want to get some experience in there. Yeah, like a Ronnie Stanley, like somebody in free agency, that could definitely provide him with some confidence, because this man got rocked this year. And it is a little bit unfortunate. All right, do we have enough questions for the mailbag? Oh, beautiful. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into our mailbag portion of today's show. That way you guys can ask your questions, I can give you my answer, and we can really dive deep into what we think about the New England Patriots. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead and jump into this mailbag section right here. Let's talk about your questions and my answers on all of the moving parts of the New England Patriots offseason. My goodness, the top 5 draft pick, $130 million in cap space, and a new OC and DC. There are a lot of things coming at us here, so I want to make sure we're all on the same page moving forward. And before we do hop into that, I want to make sure you guys follow me on other platforms. I know TikTok right now may or may not be banned. I unfortunately deleted the app off my phone. So if you guys still have the app, be sure to follow me at Boston Barefoot. And on X, at AR Barefoot. Be sure you guys are following me on these social media platforms. That way we can connect about Patriots football all the time, anywhere, not just on YouTube. Let's hop into question number 1. Red Liker. Patriots, thoughts on them going with McDaniels instead of someone else? I do think Josh McDaniels was the right hire for offensive coordinator. We do know that there were a few other options in the hiring process, and we know that one of Vrabel's top choices was Tommy Rees, who did get internally upgraded to OC for the Cleveland Browns. But I think ultimately Josh McDaniels is a familiar face that he can hop in and bring this Patriots offense right back on track. Not to mention can also put fans back in their seats because they know the product that they're going to get with Josh McDaniels. The number one reason why I love McDaniels for Drake Maye is because he has 11 years as the quarterback's coach, along with being the offensive coordinator. He is going to know exactly what to do with Drake Maye. And I know you guys may say, well, Tom Brady was the greatest of all time. McDaniels wasn't that great of an OC, or vice versa. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time because he had Josh McDaniels as his OC. Regardless, he's worked with the best there is. And I want that for Drake Maye moving forward. McDaniels was the right hire, and I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward. Another question coming in from Pale Guy. I relate to that. January has not been my friend. Patriots, how good is Carter? I never watched college football. That's fair. Abdul Carter is legit. The hype around him is very real. What you hear about Carter, you should absolutely believe. When you're looking at a guy like Carter, he dominates getting off the block. He is somebody that's so fast. His hand movements and his quickness is what makes him so special. And when I say he is a quarterback's worst nightmare, I truly do believe it. And I do think that pairing him with a guy like Keon White can make Keon White a lot better as well, because Keon White would want to be an Abdul Carter. He really would. And if you have them both on either side of the line, bringing that pressure every single time to these quarterbacks, it's going to create havoc for offensive lines. Abdul Carter is a very, very good prospect, great build, great footwork. I think the draft combine will also show us a little bit more about the actual intricates about his hand size and his speed and whatnot. But from what I see, game in and game out, he knows how to stuff the run. He knows how to close in those gaps. And he does very, very well of getting off the block, moving around the outside, and disrupting passing plays. Abdul Carter is legit. Go on ahead and watch his highlights. I highly recommend. You will be satisfied. My main man, Boston Bob. Patriots, Allie, is Kelvin Banks our guy with a number 4 pick? I'm going to be honest, and I may have an unpopular opinion here. I would rather go Will Campbell over Kelvin Banks Jr. And I'm so sorry, Texer. I know it's always hook 'em horns. But I do think with a Will Campbell guy, you are getting more of a structured, all-around good offensive lineman. With a guy like Kelvin Banks, the only reserve I have for him right now is because he is coming off a nasty injury that he sustained in his senior year at Texas. And I don't really want to have to deal with the rehab process and go through the whole Cole Strange process again of seeing him play for a little bit and then losing him for another season because he re-injured himself or he has another injury that evolves. But I get it. Injuries are a part of the game. But also, with the number 4 pick, I don't think Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks Jr. will go that early. I think we would only get Banks if we trade down, which I hope we don't because there is a lot of talent they can still get at number 4. And I've said this before, I would rather have a veteran blocking and protecting Drake Maye than a rookie. There is no shade to rookies, but with a second-year quarterback, I'd rather give him a little bit more this year for making up for what he had to deal with last year. But I don't hate Kelvin Banks Jr. I don't hate him. Cali Lama. Thoughts on Pats bringing in Wes Welker as wide receiver coach? As of right now, I do not believe the Patriots have hired a new wide receiver coach, although they did go with Tony Dews as their running back coach. But I do know that, yes, the wide receiver coach in Miami right now can definitely be beneficial because they do have a Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill-esque of personnel that he has worked with and grown to be a better type of wide receiver group. I do think that I would be more intrigued to see what the offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel can bring in free agency to then decipher whether or not we need to up our wide receiver coaching position. Because as of right now, we have no talent for this wide receiver coach to even work with. I mean, you got Pop Douglas, you got Kayshawn Boutte and Kendrick Bourne, but what are we talking about, guys? These aren't your Justin Jeffersons and your Amon-Ra St. Browns. But overall, I'm not opposed to the fact that we could bring in a guy like Wes that has established success. But I want to see what we can get quickly in free agency to help draw in better eyes to that wide receiver position. So I have a question for you guys here. Talking a little bit about Kelvin Banks a second ago, who should the Patriots draft in the first round of the NFL draft? Go on ahead and let me know in the comment section down below. While you guys are doing that, let me tell you real quick about our sponsor here on Patriots Today, and that is GameTime. GameTime is the best place to get tickets to any sporting event, concert, comedy show, or maybe even the theater. If you guys are looking to treat yourself, treat your significant other as Valentine's Day is right around the corner, or just take your friends or family, GameTime is the place to go because I know you guys can get the lowest price guaranteed. 110% will get the lowest price guaranteed, and you'll get all-in pricing as well. And if you use their favorite feature, GameTime Picks, this does fluff out all of the nitty-gritty and just make sure you guys just get the best deals on the best seats without having to search through thousands and thousands of tickets. GameTime makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. So why haven't you downloaded it yet? If you guys want to go ahead and get started, well, they can hook you up. All you guys have to do is download the GameTime app, use promo code ChatSports. This will get you $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. Again, download the GameTime app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS. This will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms do apply. If you haven't already, go on ahead, download the GameTime app today because what time is it? It is game time. Running back 3 coming in here, or just RB3. Patriots, does T-Mac's speed scare you? It was reported he needed help to beat press coverage. Obviously, with a guy like 6'5", you're not going to get the entire package. I do love his height, but, his speed could definitely be something that he can work on. Once again, we'll see more in the NFL Draft Combine, what we're really working with here. I'm not expecting a 4.2 or anything like that, but McMillan has the upper edge with being a taller target. When he creates a separation, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a Tyreek Hill with speed. It can be with a climbing the ladder. It can be with a Drake Maye that tends to overthrow receivers anyways. If you plant that ball 5 yards above the nearest defender's head, it's going to miss their hands and fall right in Tetairoa's. He has the ability to create separation upwards, not outwards. So if he does not have the speed that we're looking for, there are other ways to get him involved in the passing game that could still be a very beneficial factor that not all receivers have, like a Tyreek Hill, who has the speed, doesn't have the height that McMillan does. So I think it's just take the good with the bad. I'm excited to see what he does score in the draft combine. If we're talking like a 5.2, then yeah, maybe I'll start rethinking my pick at number 4. But I think overall, he may just be an average runner, but he's a lot taller than the average wide receiver. Another question from Old Man Mob. With Vrabel saying fullback will be back, do you see us drafting one or signing one? The only fullback that I ever think of is Kyle Juszczyk with the 49ers, and they sometimes use him, not all the time. I'm fine with the fullback coming back. I can't even think of one like off my head that they can go out and sign in the NFL draft. Honestly, right now, you also have to think, we don't have a 6th-round pick. We have 3 7th-round picks, so maybe it could just be like a best available towards the end of the draft and see if they can just start implementing the fullback into different schemes. But in terms of signing one, it's such a position that isn't utilized as much anymore. I don't really know what it would take to even get a fullback in signing. So I think Vrabel, if he says he's going to start to incorporate that position back into our personnel, he's probably got a plan of how to get one. But I definitely don't see us trading or drafting one in like a 3rd or 4th round, especially with how many different positions we need to attend to before we pick up the fullback position. I think it'd be awesome. I'm always definitely here for more ground and pound type of games, but I mean, unless I'm like full-blown missing someone, I really only ever think of Juszczyk year in and year out. That's why that guy's a Pro Bowler, because there's really nobody else competing with him every single season. So it will be interesting to see what Vrabel does decide to do with that position moving forward. Nolan Herron coming in here. Patriots, what we taking in draft, O-line or wide receiver? My order of operations, if I was Robert Kraft, would be pick number 4, take Abdul Carter. Round 2, you take your wide receivers. Round 3 and 4, you harp on the offensive line. Not primarily guys for starting positions, but definitely to add some depth back into our chart. And then really hone in on free agency and trades to bulk up that offensive line. So if they do decide to go with a wide receiver in the 1st round, it would be a Tetairoa McMillan in my eyes. The only way they're going to draft an offensive lineman in round 1, I think they would trade down for, just to pick up a couple extra things and still secure a Kelvin Banks or a Will Campbell. But I do think that Abdul Carter would be a really good guy for the Patriots, and he, of course, is the edge on defense. Nonsense Nick coming in. Best possible free agent we should go after. T. Higgins. T. Higgins would obviously shake things up like none other. T. Higgins not so happy in Cincinnati. He wanted to leave last season but ended up taking the cap hit of $25 million. I think that T. Higgins would be perfect for this type of personnel. He would fit really well with a Josh McDaniels type of system. But I do know that T. Higgins is going to be a very hot commodity, so I think the second free agent target we should go after in terms of wide receivers should be Chris Godwin. I think we should also pick up the phone, try and get Cam Robinson, Trey Smith. There are several positions, maybe even a Chase Young on defense if you don't end up getting a guy like Abdul Carter. I think there are several positions that the Patriots can get after this season in free agency. And I definitely have put out some videos already about my top free agent picks, but I will continue to put out more videos really detailing who I want and the latest reports on who the Patriots are going to get in free agency. New England Faithful coming in with our last question. What's your confidence level in Mike Vrabel leading the Patriots, Allie? Great question. I don't normally get asked the questions that I ask you guys. 8.2. My confidence out of 10, 1 through 10, is 8.2. He's an established head coach. He is a leader of men. He is a player's coach. He will put on the pads and block for you guys in practice. He had success in Tennessee with frickin' Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback. He is in the Patriots Hall of Fame. He knows what it means to be a New England Patriot. He knows the Patriots way. I think this is going to be a good, fresh start to a new era in New England. So I'm going to go with an 8.2. My confidence level for Mike Vrabel leading the Patriots this season. If you guys are excited for next season, go on ahead, like this video for me if you guys haven't already. A lot of changes, a lot of great things coming our way. I'm super excited to get back to the ball field. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. And as always, subscribe to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Alrighty. Woo! All right. Well, I think that's all I have for you guys today. That's all of my plans have now been fulfilled. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We do go live every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the third week in a row we have done it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with me, sending in your questions. We'll go live next week and later tonight, a little bit later on the East Coast, 10:30 p.m. I'll be live on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. Clippers versus Celtics. If you guys are Celtics fans as well, I'll be live on that channel a little bit later tonight. So as always, go Patriots. And if you haven't already, hit that sub button for me.